Good morning to all the third BCom General Computers and all the BSc group students. And topic is about social infrastructure. Previous two classes also we discussed about the same topic. Still some more issues are there, some more programs are there which has been implemented by the government in order to get the welfare of the public, which may lead to the economic development by providing all the social services to developing country like India. Okay, so the next issue is about major challenges which are faced in India. India's social services are facing major challenges. A growing population, industrialization and globalization that places our premium on information and technology are stretching the capacity of the Indian's educational system to deliver relevant and effective services. Already, as I said in previous class, that in 1991, economic reforms has been brought in India under the leadership of Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha Rao, that is LPG model, that is liberalization, privatization and globalization. So, extension of that reforms, some more points are added. Even the GDP rate should be increased, fiscal policy should be increased, as well as some more issues like the population, industrialization, globalization to reach to the people. So how can it reach to the people is when you develop the effective educational system and services to the public existing below as well as above poverty line of India, then these problems can be solved. Yet, enormous task remain getting 33 million children from the poor families into primary school. So there is one point which has been developed in education. If you talk about 33 million children of the poor families are moving into the primary schools after 1999. The programs has been started, increasing the retention rates so that more children finish primary grades and upgrading the average quality of the schooling received. In health, the country is undergoing immense changes in development. There continue to be high rates of communicable diseases also. Nowadays you are able to see the various types of diseases spread by various countries in order to break up the economic development as well as to decrease Indian economic rates also. They are releasing different types of diseases. Malnutrition is also one of the reason. Maternal death rate is also one of the reason why the population is not able to get the education. Parental illness representing a large unfinished agenda that predominantly affects the poor. There are also growing rates of non-communicable diseases with rapid urbanization is creating new health problems, new diseases, notable AIDS are placing great strains on the society and the health of the poor in a particular. Even though the social sectors are changing dramatically, the role played by the public sector has changed little bit. Institutional arrangements, if you talk about institutional arrangements, means the schemes and the plans which are implemented by the government under various departments and various issues, various problems existing in India. In that one thing is elementary education. Elementary education in India has been two positive developments. In the past decades, first one, it has been brought to the fore as priority issue. Second thing is series of externally funded and centrally sponsored projects including the district primary education programs. First point, what is the first point? Priority. Whom it is giving the priority? They are giving the priority. The government is giving, the public sector is giving the importance to give the primary education especially for uncivilized, underdeveloped, below poverty line categories of the society. First point. Second point is many district and central government companies are investing, sponsoring for the development of education system in India. It has seen a great deal of innovative and experimentation aimed at qualitative improvement of the services offered by the system. Not only they are investing, they are sponsoring, but also they are seeing that innovative methods should be experimented, which are giving the qualitative improvement of the services. Although there are some examples of successful programs and practices, the large system continues to raise challenges and concerns related to quality and management. Joint responsibility is also one of the issue which has been clarified, which is coming under the social infrastructure should be provided to the public existing in India. Education, health, as we talked previously, education and health are the primary sources that should be developed. Are joint responsibilities of the central and state government, which with funds provided by both levels of the government and delivery of the services. So both the central government and state government jointly planning up some schemes to develop the services, in education and health for the below poverty line people. There is need for planning and training to ensure effective financing and management at the decentralized levels. Public education and health involve enormous infrastructure and are thinly spread across the country. Day-to-day management of the services of the size, not to speak of training, upgrading a major task. So public sector financing health and education. So how far the government of India is investing, giving the finance for the development of the health and education is given in this paper. So in education, central and the state government, if you talk about from 1996 to 1997, 4% of the GDP has been increased expenditure. In 1999 to 2000 budgets, the central government plan expenditure on education were 6.6% of the total plan expenditure, and its overall expenditure on education is 2.5. Health is previously, that is in 96, it invested 6.6% of GDP, whereas in 1999-2000 it invested 2.5% of the GDP on development of education in India. The central government share is still a small part of overall government spending on education. Even the central government is also spending little bit investment financing for the educational system development. In the distribution of general government expenditure among educational levels, elementary education plays a very important role. Okay, so only the government is issuing some schemes like free food, free books, okay, free dresses, uniforms to the kids, so that at least for the sake of food, at least they move to the school. They are attracting the students to move to the school. That is the main intention of this program. Achievements so far, if you see in health, India's public spending is very low, 1.2% of GDP only. Public spending on preventing the promotive primary care services has not kept up with the growth of demand for services, particularly for the people below the poverty line. India also lags in addressing the determinants of good health that lie outside the health system. So how much in health the government kept is 1.2% of its GDP. When you talk about the private sector role in education and health in education, total private spending excluding overseas education is estimated at about 1/3 of education expenditure. You are able to compare, I think. In public sector, if you talk public sector investment, it is only 2%. What it is investing in development of the education. Whereas private, if you talk about 2/3 of the education system's amount is invested in the private sectors. Private spending on elementary education expanding rapidly, the inability of the public system to deliver and parental inability to pay. These two reasons, main reasons why the private people are investing and opening up the schools, expanding the elementary education rapidly. Why? Because of inability of public system. The way of delivery of the schools or knowledge given at the schools. Parental, of course, parents are also not so interested to send their children at this level to good education system because of their poverty. Private schools are likely to improve. Although India's public spending on health is very low, overall health spending is high because of private spending. As usual, previously how we discussed that government is spending very less on education and private sector is huge on education. Same way, health wise also, government is investing very less amount in all the public hospitals. So only people are moving to the private sector and investing. Many investors are also coming from to develop the private hospitalization. Private spending on health is 4 times, that is 80% of the health spending in India. 80% of the investment by the private sector people in health issues. There are large interstate variations in the private financing and provisions. For example, the lowest proportions of private hospital care are in rural area, rural Orissa and West Bengal, 9% and 18% of hospitalizations respectively, compared to overall 75% in rural Andhra Pradesh and Bihar. Here 90%, 75% in Andhra Pradesh and Bihar, whereas 9% and 18% in rural Orissa. The poor are often not repaying benefits from public health and education services. In contrast, education and health costs are enormous burdens for the few, but for the poor. In this point, you are able to understand that poor people are not able to get public health and public educational services. Okay, so only it is becoming burden for the remaining all the category of the people, that education and health become a huge burden and investment for them for educating their kids at the elementary level as well as a primary and secondary level of education and health issues. The poor are often not repaying this. Special attention to be paid to the role of education, social transformation as well as economic expansion. No doubt health and education services are a public responsibility for reducing the poverty in India. Will remain exclusive as long as the poor have been low utilization of preventive and curative health services, poor hygiene conditions, low school enrollment, attendance and poor quality schools and health services. The rapid expansion of the private sector, what is telling this point is rapidly over expanding private sector. Where it is expanding? In health and education is a result of public sector problem to go down. But private sector activities in these areas are not effective in providing public goods or beyond the reach of the many number of poor. It is not doing any services for the poor category of the society. Improvements in education must emerge from the community and at the school level. What is of paramount importance is reducing poverty and faster economic growth. This can be achieved by making more investment on human capital. So how can we reduce poverty and how can we see the faster economic growth is when we invest on human capital, means when we invest on ourselves for the good health and good education. Okay, the resources that are applied to improving primary education need to be targeted at those groups in the population that are most in need of support. There should be the investment of the public investment also should be improved in public schools as well as the public hospital services. Thank you students. Hope you understood the 3 classes. I explained social infrastructure dividing into 3 classes. Clear? This is my last class of first unit. Okay, I am repeating once again. This is the last topic in first unit. Second unit is going to be continued by Rajalakshmi Madam. Thank you. Stay safe. Stay home. Okay.